Hello everyone, welcome to Office Corner. So today I am back with the new Leetcode daily problem. So today we have done problem number 857, which is minimum cost to hire K workers. Okay, so here is we have defined that there are n workers and we are given two integer arrays, which is quality and wage, where quality I is the quality of the ith worker and wage I is the minimum wage expectation for the ith worker. And what we want to hire exactly K workers to form a paid group. To hire a group of K workers, we must pay them according to the following rules. What are the two rules? Here stated as every worker in the paid group must be paid at least their minimum wage expectation, and also in the second rule, in the group, each worker's pay must be directly proportional to their quality. This means if a worker's quality is a double that of another worker in that group, then they must be paid twice as much as the other worker. Okay. So what we are given an integer k which returns the least amount of money needed to form a paid group satisfying the above conditions, and answers within the 10 to the power minus 5 of the actual answer will be accepted. Okay. So here is some examples. Here is the constraints. So we are already given 3 lines of code. So I will try to explain that at first. Then I will write the code in Python. Then I will try to explain the further lines of the code. Okay. Let me explain the first 3 lines. The first line is the common line. This line defines a class name solutions. Okay. So now we will skip part to the second line, which is the important line. This line defines a method which is this mean cost to hire workers. Okay, within the solution class, this method takes 3 parameters. Okay, first of all, one is self. This parameter refers to the instance of the class itself and is a standard Python convention for referring to instance variables and methods within a class. Okay, and next is quality. This is a list of integers representing the quality of each worker. Okay. Next is wage. So this is a list of integers representing the wage of each worker. And the last is k. This is an integer representing the number of workers to be hired. Okay. And coming to the third line, this method returns a float which represents the minimum cost required to hire the k workers. Okay. So I have now explained the first 2 or 3 lines. Then I will try to now compile the code at first, write the code, then I will try to explain the further lines of the code. Okay. Now let's start writing the code for this problem. Okay, let's start first. In the writing of the code in Python, every time the iteration is very important. If you write the code correctly but the iteration is wrong, then it will not be compliant. Okay, so it is very necessary that you will maintain a good iteration. Okay, so what I have done, I will try to comment it down. Here I have done this. And as I am done the commenting part, you will try that how much code you have written in the CP problem. Try to comment it down for your better consideration or for your better understanding. Okay, let's continue the code. So we can do this now. Like here. Sort it. It's like okay. write the for part. Okay, I have done the mistake before, the wage per quality part. I will try to maintain the correct case sensitive value. Okay. Just try to copy this code because it's the same line. I will try to write here. Just there is a problem that we are getting. Okay, so yeah, that will be fine. Let's try to complete the condition. Oh, there is a problem I have done already. For loop is gone 4. So now the last line of the code we have to return the answer. So I think I have written the code for this problem. Let's run the code at first, then I will try to explain the code. Let's Okay, there is some problem, I know. There is no day that I have compiled the code at the first attempt. Okay, let's think that why is the problem. Okay, the WY key for Q, there is any case sensitive problem. Okay, okay, I will copy. Workers sorted quality wise line 6. No, what's the problem? Workers sorted. Okay, that's cool. Let's see the code, run the code. Okay, there is no problem. Worker shorted the okay, let's see here what's the quality weights. I think the code is written in correct order. I do not know what's the problem defined here. If there is any issue problem, yes. Unexpected indent. Unexpected indent. Unexpected indent file. I could not find it. Let's see. Okay, I have now made the code correct. Let's see if the code is running and giving the correct output for the custom input. Okay, now the code is running, so I will try to explain the code at first, then I will submit the code. Okay. So coming to the explanation part, I think I have already explained the first 2 lines of the code up to float portion. Now I will try to explain from the third line of the code, this line. So this line initializes the variable answer to ANS to positive infinity. Okay. So So this variable basically holds the minimum cost required to hire k workers. By initializing it to positive infinity, any cost calculated in the subsequent iterations will be less than or equal to this value. Okay. Now coming to the fourth line. This line basically initializes the variable quality sum to 0. This variable will accumulate the sum of the qualities of the workers that are currently selected. Okay, now let's skip the comment part. Now coming to the sixth line. The sixth line is a list of tuples representing each worker's wage to quality ratio and their corresponding quality. It sorts the list based on the wage to quality ratio. The zip function, this zip function, it basically iterates over the quality and wage list simultaneously, creating tuples of corresponding elements. Okay. Now coming to the seventh line. This line initializes an empty list named max heap, and this list will be used as a max heap to keep track of the qualities of workers. Okay. Now let's come to the for loop portion. Okay. So for the for loop, this line starts with a loop for where over each workers in the worker list, each worker is a tuple containing the wage to quality ratio, where we have used the tuple as wage per quality. Okay, and the quality of the worker is Q. Okay. Now coming to the next line. This line pushes the negation of the quality minus Q, this line minus Q onto the max heap. The negation it used because Python's heap Q module implements a min heap. So by negating the qualities, we effectively create a max heap. Okay. Now coming back to the 11th line, this quality sum portion. This line adds the quality of the current worker Q to the quality sum, which accumulates the sum of the qualities of selected workers. Now coming to the two if statements. First if statement, this block of code check if the number of workers in max heap, this block of code, okay, of workers in max heap which exceeds the limits k. If it does, it means that there are more workers selected than required. In this case, it removes the worker with the highest quality from the max heap and subtract their quality from quality sum. Okay. Now coming to the next line of block. Okay. Now this block of code checks if the number of workers in max heap equals to the required number k. If it does, it calculates the cost for the current combination of workers, which is this quality sum wage per quality, and updates answer to the minimum of its current value and the calculated cost. And in the last line, we are returning the minimum cost required to hire k workers here, the return answer part. Now let's submit the code. I think you all have understood the code, and yeah, the code have passed all the test cases and time complexities, and we have also maintained our streak. Okay. So we have completed today's problem, and there is a special announcement that my first podcast of open source with Anurag Bytes has been released, and I will try to attach the link in the pinned comment or in the description box. Go check that out. You will find a brief introduction about the open source programs and all the open source things about GSOC, about the do's and don'ts of open source there. I have tried to complete it in a video, and maybe you will try it informative, maybe you will find it informative. Okay, so go check it out. And as I have previously mentioned that this will be my last video because my exams are coming, so I will try to make the videos after 1 month, after my exam obviously. And but you will all find the codes of the daily problems in the GFG, in the GitHub repositories of mine. You will find the link of the GitHub repository in the description box. Go check that out. Okay, but the explanation videos may be irregular, and maybe it's the last video. and after 1.5 months I will try to continue this explanation video programs for both of the GFG problems or the Leetcode problems. Okay, so see you then after 1.5 months, and till then those who have their mid-sem or end-sem exams, all the best for that, and till then keep coding, stay healthy, and goodbye.